San Francisco Giants, a team people often think of you. Obviously, won World Series titles there. He's from the Bay Area. I can't imagine the Yankees are going to let this guy walk, but there's no question San Francisco is going to make a spirited run at this guy.
Well, look, the Yankees are not going to have this thing handed to them. Aaron Judge just had a tremendous year, a year like we didn't see. It was as much fun being a fan of Aaron Judge as it was of any team for me this year, watching somebody do what he did. You know that this guy, number 99, selling jerseys and going to be the face of any franchise he walks into. San Francisco, the Dodgers, the Padres, they're trending up. Arizona, they're young and getting dangerous. San Francisco's got to go out and make some moves, get some pitching, but you put number 99 in your lineup, you're automatically right in the mix with anything you do. So, you know, questions out west, I can tell you this. I've talked to some people out west, fans, and even some not fans. And
sources indicate
about the opportunity to talk to Aaron Judge, and he is a Bay Area boy.
The payroll commitment's something like this. Rodon, I think he's going to opt out. He's going to get more than $22.5 million, at least a long-term deal. When you look at that list, though, Alex, it calls to mind this. When I think of major teams, there's always a player or two that come to mind. With respect to Brandon Crawford, those other players, they don't have that big superstar, that big name as for years Buster Posey was so identified with the Giants. Judge would fill that void immediately.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could tell throughout the course of this year, too, they kind of missed that leadership role that Buster had, you know, for his entire career there, and was missing that kind of that middle of the order presence. Judge obviously would bring that to the Giants, and that's something that, you know, that people have been talking about for a long time, but over the course of this season, as far as like what his free agency might look like. But, you know, also too, if you're the Dodgers, just hearing that, you got to be able to put yourself in there. Just even if you don't think you have a shot, which the Dodgers do, they have plenty of money to be able to do that, but just be able to drive the price up and try to avoid that situation, because, like you said, the Dodgers have been the class, and, you know, the Giants need to be able to try to do something to kind of reach where they're at, and the Padres are not going anywhere.
Well, I think the San Francisco Giants really had to reevaluate, and I know a lot of things happened with health, and you can point at a lot of things, but they really felt good coming into this year about the system they had in place and where they stood among the NL West. We saw that there's some holes in that system.
Right.
And, again, you hit it on the head, the lack of Buster Posey in that leadership. Aaron Judge is that kind of leader. Now, I don't know if he can have the impact that Buster did simply because he played the catcher position, which we talked about how important that was. But you're getting a face of the franchise. You see what Aaron Judge has meant to this community. If I'm Brian Cashman, Mr. Steinbrenner, all rise needs to keep happening.
All rise means all pay.
We keep talking about how, you know, it's, you know, how can he leave? How can the Yankees, you know, not bring him back, stuff like that? We've seen it with other guys in the past before. Like, nobody ever thought that Albert Pujols would leave the Cardinals. You know, so, you know.
Freddie just last year.
Freddie with the Braves.
Yes.
I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
What do you think about the idea of, again, a team signing a big name and then having to accommodate? Theoretically, if the Dodgers sign Judge, Mookie Betts goes to second base. Mookie Betts, former MVP, World Series champion. Would that make sense to you if I'm describing it in your mind? Judge and right, Mookie at second?
Yeah, he came up as an infielder. He's an athlete.
He's like, superhuman.
Mookie could do whatever he wants on the baseball field. He'd probably go in there and pitch and give you some good innings if he really wanted to. But, you know, him going to second base, he'd be able to figure it out and be a good second baseman. He came up as an infielder and learned how to play the outfield at a Gold Glove caliber. So, you know, why wouldn't he be able to do that again in the infield?
Look, Mookie is athlete. I mean, this guy, there's nothing he can't do. He bowled a 300 game on an off day in the playoffs.
Good bowler.
Like, get out of here, Mookie. He can do anything that he wants to do. And again, to accommodate Aaron Judge, I think he would be happy to do it. He is a selfless individual.
I know you don't sleep well because you have so many kids, but imagine the night sweats I'd give you if you had to face that Dodger lineup and you got Aaron Judge in the middle with Trey Turner and Justin Turner and Bellinger and Betts and Freddie Freeman.
They would have to bring Trey back.
Yeah, they're going to have to.
That's the other thing.
Yeah, that's $700 million between two players, you know.
That is true. Questions would persist.
Plan. The same is true on the other side as an offensive player, though, going in facing a pitcher. You have those same numbers and analytics and information on what that pitcher does really well and even what you do really poorly as a hitter. So you have an idea of how he's going to attack you. So what becomes your advantage at that point? When everyone has that same information, it's that ability to be able to make those adjustments kind of in-game and go away from maybe those reports to be able to gain that next advantage that might get you over the hump, that might get you that win. And watching the ALCS, it was just in that bat against Stanton in the bottom of the eighth inning, if we want to go to the video, with a guy on second base, 2 outs, Astros up by 1, and you're facing a guy that can flip the scoreboard really quickly in a hurry. And with Abreu, they start off with the fastball here, and he goes to the slider. Now, Abreu, he's pretty much 50-50 with that fastball-slider combination. Throws hard, but he has a really good slider that he commands really well. And he gets behind 3-0. Okay, and this is something that it told me on this at-bat. He went 3-0 slider, gets a call there from the home plate umpire, but he went 3-0 slider thinking that, Stanton might have had the green light there, obviously 3-0. But then this fastball right here, once you get to 3-2 for Abreu, if we could pause the video, as a catcher, I'm thinking, okay, once I get to 3-2, Abreu's been throwing all season 65% sliders, 3-2. Like, he's heavy slider guy, even though he throws hard. Stanton, book on him, sliders away. You get the swing and miss. So a lot of times, it could have been so easy for Maldonado just to call another slider there, based on what the analytics are saying between what Abreu does really well and what Stanton doesn't do really well.
And based on what they've already done in the at-bat.
Exactly.
2-0, when you go 2-0 and you have to throw a strike, they showed you slider for a strike.
Yes.
Or excuse me, 2-0 was a slider for a ball.
Right.
Then it went to 3-0. 3-0, they threw slider again.
Tells you he commands it well.
Exactly.
He commands it better than his fastball, usually.
And that the book is, hey, fastball in the zone right here. If he's got the green light, he's going to clip us. Let's throw that slider.
Right.
And
so Maldonado's thinking here, okay, he gets to 3-2 with the fastball swing and miss by Stanton. So as a catcher, you're reading that situation. You're reading the swing, and you're understanding that, and you're also getting the information from your pitcher. Hey, he might be able to command this fastball a little bit better and be able to execute. Go to the fastball 3-2. We can go back to the video and play this again. And catches him freezing. There's no doubt in my mind there Stanton's waiting for a slider because he knows Abreu throws heavy slider 3-2 right there. But Maldonado had the guts enough to say, hey, look, based on what I saw 3-1 and earlier in the at-bat, if he's able to execute a fastball right here, game, set, match. And you could tell by his reaction right there. That reaction there is, yes, we're getting out, the team's getting out of a jam.
We
in the
took
bottom
a
of the
risk
eighth
and it
inning.
paid off.
Exactly. He took a risk, made the adjustment, and he's yelling all the way to the dugout, just checkmate right there, because
that's exactly what it was. It was checkmate, and this guy did that to many guys. But in-game adjustments that your catcher is making, when they threw 3-0 slider there, he swung and missed and wasn't ready for that 3-1 fastball because he went, oh, gosh, they just threw 3-0 slider.
Right.
And he wasn't ready to hit the one pitch he had. And then he got caught in between pitches he's going back to that slider now. Yeah. And Maldonado had the sense to feel that situation out. Another fastball, well executed. In those type moments, and Alex has been in them, and this is who made, I think about David Ross and Buster Posey, the Molinas. When you're a general manager and you're putting your team together, the guys calling these pitches in the playoffs better be on your mind when you're thinking about winning a world title, because those in-game adjustments, you have all the info, but every swing, every pitch, that pitcher and that catcher is reading what the hitter did and trying to be proactive and not, get caught in that cat and mouse game. So that was great there.
Really well done. So there's a micro look, then there's a macro look. How can a guy like Johnny Gomes be critical in this spot?
Well, Johnny Gomes, when I think about the managerial, when I think about how important those decisions were, and Maldonado had the ability to call those, I think about where managers in today's game are put, where analytics are driving every decision. And I thought back to the 2013 run. Johnny Gomes wouldn't have been in the lineup against Kurt Maness, a right-handed batter, hitting this decisive.
Here we go, bringing up 2013.
Rubbing your face.
This was a almost 10-pitch at bat, righty on righty, sinker slider guy with Daniel Nava on the bench. This doesn't happen in today's world. I'm so thankful I was a little bit before in these decision makers. Look, I think about Cody Ross against Roy Halladay. Is he in the lineup? Bruce Bochy had the ability to feel that out. He's in the lineup and not a left-handed hitter against a tough Roy Halladay, but he was the right man in the right spot. What I love about this is it shows that baseball is a game being played by humans. The analytics are amazing and all the information is amazing, but you have to use your eyes and your feel on your certain players, especially if you're going to win the World Series.
And just on my side a little bit, it just kind of triggered a memory of mine back in 2011 playoffs. Jim Leyland leading off Don Kelly, our utility guy, against Alexi Ogando because he's had a few good at-bats of him. And what does he do? Go bridge, first inning. And, so it's just, having a feel for the situation, allowing the game to kind of help dictate some of your decisions. It's great to have a game plan, but you also have to be able to make adjustments because that's what the guys are trying to do.
And those guys were using analytics. Jim Whelan was using every bit of information he could have before it was called analytics. So analytics along with feel and the marriage of those two, I would love to see managers get back to, you know, when you watch that Dodgers series, and I watched Anderson come out of that game and go, oh my goodness, and Hillary Loretta sitting next to me said, I'm so glad they took that starting pitcher out of the game. We had no chance. And I thought to myself, me too. You know, and I know that Dave Roberts was probably put in a situation where analytically it was time for him to go against what eyes were saying. So, you know, again, I think the marriage of both is very crucial.
Last quick thought. He mentioned the book on Stanton, Sliders Away. What was the book on Alex Avila when he was facing him?
Look, this guy bridged me. What Bryce Harper did, go look at it. Fastball away, Oppo taco.
I liked facing Jake.
I had to throw him. Look, he swung and missed the sliders down in. That you had to fastball right here and slider.
I would swing over the top.
If not, he bridged me. Look, I can tell you this. This guy is not thought of in as highly of regard behind what he did behind the plate, and I want to make sure that when Alex Avila was behind the plate, you had your hands full in knowing how the game was going to be handled and called.
The reason you played 13 years.
That's right, baby.
Hey, you took a bridge and you get your props on national television.
I love working with Jake. You can bring up 2013 whenever you want.